Well, today I'm here with a very special guest, one of the all-time great midfielders, a small man, very much like myself, but I tell you what, he's got plenty of run. He took off from the Dockers, he's gone to the Brisbane Lions, and he's been on fire. And apparently he's in Adelaide as we speak, or in the country somewhere, so we're going to check in with the great Lachie Neale. How are you, mate?
Yeah, going well, thanks, Crawf. How are you going?
I'm going okay. So you're in South Australia, is that right?
Yeah, I'm back on the family farm in SA, so country SA at the moment. About 3.5 hours away from Adelaide, so it's going well.
Yeah, right. So 3.5 hours from Adelaide. I'm just trying to work out which direction do I head.
It's southeast of South Australia.
Yep.
So we're about an hour from Mount Gambier.
All right. Okay. Mount Gambier is a beautiful part of the world.
Yeah. Have you been to Narracourt?
Narracourt. I know they have horse racing there.
There's some races here. So on a property about 15 minutes out of Narracourt.
Yeah, right. And so obviously acreage, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's probably, what is it, about 1,800 acres, is it? My little brother's here, he knows more than me, so...
So get your little brother to pop his head in. We want to say good day. What's his name?
His name's Will.
Will, how are you, mate? You good?
Thanks. Yeah.
You've been running your brother around on the property, is that right? You get on the motorbike and he just runs the whole property?
Yeah, nah, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
You're working into it.
But well, you got to stay on the grass these days, Crawf, so we've just been going down to the Oval.
Oh, you've been going down the Oval. And hey, Will, is it good to have your brother back?
Yeah, so good.
Yep. Does he look after you?
Yeah, he does.
just been beating him in ball games and cards the last couple of weeks, so he's a bit flat at the moment.
Oh, that's all right, mate. But hey, mate, well, I'm going to take him on in a bit of basketball a little bit later, so hopefully I can do you a favour and show him how it's done, although my track record's pretty bloody poor. Hey, nice seeing you, mate. Thanks for popping your head in. It's always good to meet the siblings and see what's going on. So at least on the farm, you've got plenty of space to roam around. Obviously, you'll be lifting bales of hay and all sorts of things when you want to do weight sessions. So how does it all work from there when you need to do some training?
Yeah, well, we've got the local footy club just a couple of minutes away from here, so it's Kybe Bolite. It's where I played all my junior footy and stuff. So Jack Trengove, who former Melbourne Port Adelaide boy, he was from Kybe as well, and Alex Forster got drafted to Freo same year as me. He's from Kybe Footy Club as well, so it's a pretty small place, but it's produced a bit of talent, which is good.
When you say small, what's the population?
Of Kybe, about 30, 35 people. Yeah.
30, yeah, right, 30, 35, and yet they're still being able to produce a couple of AFL footballers, so you must have a statue as you go into town, is that right?
No, there's no statues in Kybe, mate. There's a post office, and that's about it.
Is that it?
Yeah, and the footy club. So the place is buzzing on the weekends. Obviously, at the moment, it's a bit quiet, but other than that, there's not much that goes on in sleepy old Kybe.
So how do they have so many football teams when there's only a population of 35?
Well, we've got some surrounding properties and stuff. A lot of the kids play for Kybe there, and then Narracourt is a pretty big country town, so a lot of the players come from in there as well. So they're sort of our rivals in a way, the Narracourt Demons. So Narracourt versus Kybe was always good fun.
Yeah, right. And you can't beat country footy, can you? I grew up in the country as well. It's pretty special. It's very unique, and it's hard to describe to the city folk who haven't experienced what a real little community is like, because it is like a big family, really. Yeah,
it's great, and obviously we have the netball club there as well, and all the grades play on the same day at the same place against another local town. So I used to live for those weekends when I was growing up here. It was always such a good time. So it's good that the footy club's still going strong, and hopefully we see them back out there. If not this year, next year they get back on the horse.
Now, I'm not going to retire you yet because you're flying, but hey, when you do finish, do you think you'll ever go back just for 1 year to help?
On the farm?
No, your little footy town.
I've always said I'd love to come back and play for Kybe at one stage. So, yeah, it'd be good to do, but we'll have to wait and see. As you said, hopefully I've got a couple more years left in me, but Fags might get rid of me once I turn 30 or something. I'm not that quick as it is, so I'll probably slow down even more.
No, he loves the older guys. You obviously got Hodgie in there, you got Birch there. How's the old fella going? Is he going all right?
Yeah, he had a great pre-season, so he'd be pretty frustrated with what's going on, as we all are, but no, he did have such a good pre-season. I think he had a bit of a tight hammy just leading into round one, but he'd done everything up to then. So hopefully he can get on the park later in the year if we get going again.
And what about that warrior, Luke Hodge? You know, how would you describe playing with that man?
It was awesome playing with Hodgie. He's a good man, fierce competitor. So even though I only played with him for a season, I learned a lot from him. When I first got there, he's probably the most professional bloke. I sort of thought he might just be putting his feet up and enjoying his last couple of years, but he was super professional, super diligent right up until his last game. He was probably our best player through that final series as well. So it's a testament to the sort of player he is.
Well, when he first arrived at Hawthorn, he wasn't. He was the absolute opposite. We had to kick his butt into gear. But good credit to him, because I tell you what, he turned into an absolute superstar. And, we got nothing but love for the great Luke Hodge. Hey, let's go back to your junior football. Is it true, under 14s, you got dropped for the grand final? Is that right?
I did in under 18s.
In the under 18s?
Under 14s, I missed out on one of the grand finals. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old or something. So
okay, yeah.
Under 14s and missed out on one of the grand finals. They went 3 in a row, I think. So
I was going to say, hey, you can't be dropping Lachie Neale. I tell you what, I don't know if you know a guy called Luke McCabe. He used to play at Hawthorn, and then he went over and helped Centrals out a bit. But he always said, when you were first picked up, he said, hey, keep your eye on this kid. He can play. And so I kept a close eye on you throughout your whole career at the Dockers. And he was right. He knows what he's talking about, because it's actually took you a little while to get going. You got a bit of a taste of it. But then, you know, the last 4 or 5 years, you really just sort of... What's been the key ingredient? Why do you think you've been so consistent across the board?
Yeah, I think I've had some pretty good mentors throughout my career and coaches and whatnot. So early on in my sort of first couple of years at Freo, we had a really strong midfield. It was pretty hard to crack into. We had Fifey, Mundy, Barlow, Crowley, Subin, De Boer, all these guys that were quality players, and to be able to learn off them. And then had Mark Stone as the midfield coach, who is pretty tactical, and something that I hadn't really thought about was the defensive side of the game, and him and Ross really drilled that into me. And sort of the first couple of years didn't play much in the midfield, and then got my opportunity, and Brett Kirk ended up coming over and being midfield coach, and I learnt so much off Kirky with my stoppage craft and whatnot. So
he loves to cuddle, Kirky, doesn't he? He loves to cuddle, and he loves getting close. I played in a couple of representative games. Yeah, we went over to Ireland, and I'm like, mate, stop hugging me. I said, I know I love you and you love me. This is great, but he's all about showing the love, which is why he was so good at the Bloods at the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, he was a ripper, and he taught me a lot about off-field preparation as well, and got me into meditation and sort of the mental side of the game too. So all those things contributed, and feel like I worked pretty hard at my game, and that's something that I try and take into games, knowing that my preparation and my training standards have helped me prepare for games and have confidence in my ability. So all those things, and had some great help along the way.
You wear a great number 9. So that's your lucky number, is it?
Yeah, well, I wore it at Glenelg when I got drafted, and I actually went for it after my first year at Freo. I was in 27, and Adam McPhee retired, and he was wearing number 9. I went for that, but Matty De Boer had a bit more experience than me then, so he got the number 9 at Freo. So
you needed to get it written into your contract. You know, that's the important thing. I get that number.
Didn't have that much pull when I was 19. Might have Crawf, but I didn't.
No, I definitely didn't. I just went with what they gave me. But it's a fantastic number. It's a very lucky number, and it's been very good for you. And then obviously the Lions are airborne at the moment, and that number continues on.
Yeah, so I've had it for 12 months now at the Lions, and obviously when Dane Beams left, it became available. So wanted to jump in that. That was my first choice.
And what about the coach, Mr. Fagan? We worked closely at Hawthorn for a couple of years, and he's just very measured, isn't he? Although at times we've seen him lose the plot, but he is a very measured, and he's just a super nice guy, who seems to be coaching a football club.
Yeah, he's a ripper. He's sort of Father Fagan throughout the week, and then, like you said, on game day he turns into a different beast. He's rides every bump and every umpiring decision as well. He rides everything. So he's always entertaining on the bench. Come off for a spell and he's right into the game. But yeah, can't speak highly enough of Fags. He's absolute ripping bloke, and he's been great for me. I'm sort of looking to get into the coaching side of things post-footy as well, so he's a great mentor to have for that side of the game. He's sort of done every role now and knows a lot about footy, knows a lot of people, and everyone that you come across just says the same thing about him. So the Brisbane Lions are very lucky to have him as a coach.
He would be super excited that you actually want to coach when you finish footy, because that's what he loves. He loves young people coming through and learning about the game and understanding, what it's all about, not only as a player, but certainly from a coaching point of view. And I know when he was at Hawthorn, that was very much his role, is to guide people along. So I could only imagine that now that Hodgie's gone, you've gone to number one on his books.
Well, the boys give me a bit of grief about that. So yeah, he does love teaching, and I think that's his background as well. So it's obviously something that he's really passionate about, and the boys are always learning off him, whether it's on the field or off the field, and he's got time for everyone and wants to see everyone succeed. I feel like there's not a bad bone in his body.